intra-abdominal pressure. Okay, so go back down. That's actually a perfect position there. Now I want you to pressurize into the belt. And then as you're doing your swing, I want you to imagine perfect expansion all the way out and then exploding through your hips, not your spine. So we don't want lumbar spine extension as you explode. We only want explosion with the hip. Really, really good. Now more explosion. And you don't have to go up so high because that's creating like a timing problem. So maybe just go as high as your shoulders.
Okay.
Yes. And now in your mind, what you really want to work on is feeling what that intra-abdominal pressure feels like against the hip motion. I love this. Like once people start to understand intra-abdominal pressure, I think this is the next level exercise to feel intra-abdominal pressure with. It's really, really good. And as you bring the kettlebell back, get your butt back more. Take your tailbone to the wall behind you. Yes, perfect. Keep your pressure though. Yes, explode out of there. Boom.
So you care more about the hip flexion than the knee flexion?
Exactly. So we don't want to see a lot of knee shear forward. We'll allow some, of course, but we want to better choose to get this back. This is so inappropriate. But whenever they can't get it, it's like midnight madness. It's that same motion. Like once you tell them that, they oftentimes get the cue perfectly. And all my female trainers hate it, but like it works so well. Like then that gets the explosiveness through the hip joint. We could also use a weight belt. You could use a TheraBand. It looked like you were going to do a Turkish get up before.
Yeah, I was fine.
You might want to do a Turkish get up.
She could do.
No, yeah. So grab, not with that weight. Do something a little more reasonable.
Brad, what will you do with the neck?
Yeah, I was going to ask, what are your thoughts on the cervical spine?
You're just good at it, you know?
Yeah, it should be tough. It should be long and tough. Yeah.
That was just extreme sporting technique.
So pressure. And now on the first movement of the Turkish get up, rib cage and pelvis will move together. Yeah, back down. Yeah. Okay. So when she went from this position to the lower, you see how she buckled into extension?
Yeah.
So this is where like Turkish get up is a great assessment tool on people who know how to do it, because like we can just take like certain snapshots and we can work on those specific parts. So like in the throwing athlete, a lot of times like that initial movement, we just play in that first uprighting up onto the elbow, but we pay a lot more attention to intra-abdominal pressure than other people who teach kettlebell courses would probably. So yeah, you can see all the different possibilities on that. Now we're going to do the intra-abdominal pressure test from the seated position, and then we'll get on the treadmill. So since you're there, you want to just hop on up. Yep. So hopefully what you guys saw was like the progression. So we started from here. We could go here. Honestly, to another really good thing would be like a deadlift with a kettlebell, a Turkish get up with a kettlebell, not a Turkish get up, a goblet squat, and then like just traditional deadlift would be wonderful. Like as they start to figure out intra-abdominal pressure against their hips, that's the key to athletic function. Remember Bolt coming out of the gate? Well, he was basically doing the same thing. It was all hip motion. What you and I would want to do is we would want to use our spine. He keeps his spine perfectly upright with intra-abdominal pressure, and then he can literally use every fiber of his glutes to get him to explode out of that position. Okay, so now let's have you sit here for me. You can take your gloves off. So that's perfect. So then the intra-abdominal pressure test from the front gives us a way to assess how well they're able to maintain pressure, just like we did seated, but from this position here. So you need more. Yes. Now hold. So So basically you find their ASIs as you come in a little bit medial. And then from here, now I got my arms somewhat free here, so I can resist hip flexion with my forearms. Let me have you, yes, perfect. And down, down. Come up again, I'm sorry. And down, just one leg at a time. And hold, but keep your pressure. And down. And one more time. So coming up, we'll do the hip flexion test, which is a little bit separate, but the hip flexion test is assessing intra-abdominal pressure against the hip flexor. Now we're just assessing from this position if they're able to generate intra-abdominal pressure. This is, and I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, but it'll make more sense from an educational standpoint. This is the hallmark for like a cyclist or a soccer player. We need pressure here. Perfect. And now we need that to be activated as you activate your hip flexor. So let's pretend you're on a bike now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. And now go up and down with your knees there. So, yep. So every time she does this on a bike, we need this balanced with intra-abdominal pressure. So if you're looking at a really good cyclist dead on, these look like two pistons going up and down. And the more, or the better we have intra-abdominal pressure modulation, the less you'll feel in your muscles here. So you've kind of already done this at this point. It's a little bit redundant. We're just now looking at it from a seated position. And for sake of completeness, you'll see that in your notes, we do the intra-abdominal pressure test like it's shown the first way. And then this is the other way, just so it's clear. And then just for the hell of it, if you look up there and you see the 3-month-old baby there, see how the spine is sealed off to the table there? And again, if we went up and modulate the pressure, it wouldn't be as much as we're creating here, but for treatment, we start with more and slowly dial back from there. So this is the seated hip flexion test. I'm sorry, this is the intra-abdominal pressure test from the seated position. Okay, so let's quickly get a look at that.